Well, I'm going to speak specifically about the right to know. It is our civil right and our human right to know what it is that we're eating. We need laws, labeling laws in this country to let us know whether we're eating genetically altered foods or not. To me, it's a no-brainer. And I am very concerned and disappointed that this country and this nation has allowed the food manufacturers and the agricultural industry to manufacture food with ingredients that potentially could be harmful to an individual and not insist or demand or legally mandate that those ingredients be made known to the general public. It's a big concern, and I'm very much an advocate for labeling laws in this country. I think it's an extension of the civil rights movement that my father and Martin Luther King led, quite frankly. It's an issue called environmental injustice. And in our communities, African American communities across this nation, by and large, historically, we have not been provided with good food in our communities. We don't have good grocery stores, and the grocery stores that we have typically don't put the best food in those grocery stores. And so for the African American community, it's we already start at a disadvantage. And then on top of that, you put now genetically altered foods that you don't label. It just makes us a further disadvantaged community. And those are issues that we have to address. And so I really believe that a national law or a state-by-state law must be put in place to notify us that when we go to a grocery store, a restaurant, a fast food business, and we want a Chick-fil-A sandwich or you want a McDonald's hamburger, you'll know whether or not that sandwich is genetically altered or whether it was made with genetically altered ingredients. This to me is critical to the sustainability of our communities, not just the African American community, but our communities as a nation across the country.
Very well said. Okay. So in addition to events like this tonight where you'll be speaking about the issue, how do you feel like we can increase the level of awareness out there that this is an issue and that these things are dangerous?
I think that what we have to do is a campaign, if you will, quote unquote, a movement. And sincerely, this is an extension of the civil rights and human rights movement. There is a next step, and that next step is economic empowerment. Only can come through education, nonviolence, which only can come through conflict resolution, and healthy eating choices, which can only come through us pressing the government to label products and us going on radio talk shows and going into churches and going into community centers and speaking this message and making it commonly known amongst the people. I think the tragedy or the travesty in this whole issue is the fact that you're eating genetically altered food and you don't know it. That to me is absurd. I think it's an act of subterfuge, and it lends one to an untrust with their government. We trust our government to tell us what's good and what's bad. And when they fail to do that, it creates a mistrust in the spirit of the American people. And I think that's what we have now. And the more people become more knowledgeable of this issue, the more the trust issue becomes a major factor. And I believe that this country, as it has in the past, will live up to its true meaning in the Constitution, that all people first are created equal and have the inalienable rights to the pursuit of liberty, justice, and the pursuit of happiness. And I didn't say that exactly as it's written in the Constitution, paraphrasing, but that only can happen when you that can only happen when you make it a make everything known, and what's the word I'm looking for? When you have open.
Transparency.
Yes, yes.
Transparency.
That can only happen when you have open transparency, and that's what we need in our agricultural and food industry.
Well, it's a hopeful message, and I really hope that you're right about it.
Yes, well, we're going to work on it, and we're going to take it to the next level.